What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm not going to talk about investing. I'm going to talk about a specific company that is up and coming and it's rising to the top. And as you may all know, if you're watching the news and if you've been on YouTube lately, if you've heard the company called Nikola Motor Company. So in a nutshell, they're a trucking company that is gonna use hydrogen to power their trucks and power sports vehicles, and they're ready to disrupt the entire business, specifically the trucking business, because that's their niche and that's what they're trying to go for. So in this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the 5 W's, and this includes, I'm going to talk about why is Nikola Motor Company so important, and who is Nikola Motor Company, who's the CEO, what is the primary mission objectives of the company, how are they going to accomplish their services and fulfill the customer's expectations, and when are they going to execute their said objectives. So sit back and relax. This is not going to be a quick video. I'm shooting for about 20-25 minutes because I took notes and I actually watched some videos from about 3-4 years ago where they unveiled Nikola One, which is their primary truck, and actually analyzed the video and did my research. So I took notes. So what I'm going to do is explain it to you all in 20-25 minutes, what the company is all about, and the products and the vehicles that they're going to be offering to the masses in about 2-3 years here. So let's get started. So a little bit of history. So from this video, so the CEO is Trevor Milton, and he started his company from his basement of his house. He had several employees working on his projects. Eventually Nikola Motor is the project that became successful out of all the several projects that he's been working on. Some of his projects failed and some of them were successful, but Nikola Motors, the whole project is his baby. So from the video, he talked about how Utah is a great state, but it's a tech state. So in order for Nikola Motors to thrive, he decided to move out of Utah and move to Arizona, because in his videos he talked about how Nikola Motors is not a tech company, it's an energy tech company that is trying to work its way up into the industry, mainly by producing hydrogen powered vehicles in this case. So that's a little bit about history about the company. So it started from the basement with several employees, but now the CEO talked about he has about 350 employees working for the company in Arizona. So they're completely in Arizona now, and the projection is they're gonna build their trucks in Arizona. So Arizona is where it's at right now in terms of Nikola Motors. So that's a little bit of history about the company and how it started. And so I used a specific video in year 2016. It was posted on December 1st, and I took some notes, and this is what I came up with. And I actually took some the timestamps on here, and I'm gonna link the video, and you can go to the video and look at the timestamps that I did, and you can watch the video from there. So in his Nikola One unveil back in December 2016, he talked about failures and risk. So like I talked about, Nikola, or the CEO, started projects. He had failures and failures after failures, but eventually Nikola One is his baby is the one, no pun intended. So out of all the projects that he started, some of them failed, some of them became successful, and Nikola One is his baby. So Trevor had his shares of failures and successes. Like I talked about, his projects failed and some of them were successful. And Nikola Motors is his baby and had the most potential. So during the times he struggled, and he liquidated several of his assets. One of his videos, during his interviews, he talked about how people didn't believe in him. He actually ran out of money. He actually liquidated some of his assets, including his guns. He sold some of his guns to fund his projects and his companies. So eventually he came out on top, and through his conviction and true grit, where we at right now, I think the company has has a great future, and has a great potential. So he sold his guns and everything to fund his projects and his investments into his companies. For me, that's crazy. That's something I would be, it's gonna be a challenge for me if I have to sell my car, if I have to sell my camera. But when it comes to it, you know, if you believe in your company, I'm gonna have to sell it. So and in this case, Trevor had the true conviction for his company, and now we were looking at a billion-dollar company that has a potential to disrupt the industry. So, and in one of his interviews, he talked about how Nikola accepted the small business loan worth $4 million from the government through the PPP program, and the bank that issued the 4.1 million is JP Morgan Chase. And this he accepted it just to keep the business afloat. I know there's going to be stereotype out there. If you're a business who accepted the loan, you're going to be frowned upon. That's not my lane to explain, because I'm not an expert on that. But for me, from hindsight, if I'm offered 4.1 million to keep my business afloat, with the potential of my business growing, I would take it. So in this scenario, in this case, in this circumstance, Trevor took the 4.1 million PPP loan, and he's going to use that money to propel his company and invest into the company. So again, I talked about that's how he's going to be using the money, is to keep the business afloat, keep his employees paid, and eventually he's gonna that money is gonna move the company in the right direction. So in addition to the PPP loan, Milton had raised 525 million capital from Fidelity and hedge fund Value Capital. This is before the PPP loan. He already had 525 million, and to fund his company. So today, Nikola Motors Company is valued at $3 billion. So this is my opinion. I believe taking the PPP loan, and in addition to the 525 million, that's a right move on behalf of Trevor, because it's his true grit, and he had real conviction for his company, and he believed that the company will be successful in the future. In my opinion, that's a great move on his part, and in my opinion, I believe Nikola Motors will be a company that's going to be successful in the future. And I'm going to talk about how the competitors, I'm going to talk about the competition in terms of Nikola Motors not trying to beat other competitors, but it has its own niche. So I'm going to explain that later in this video. So the other vehicles and products that they offer is the Nikola Zero UTV, so an all-electric UTV. So it's an electric off-roader. So this, if you love vehicles that go UTV, ATV, this is right for you. If you love torque and you're a torque junkie, so This vehicle starts at 80,000. It boasts up to 590 horsepower and up to 775 foot-pounds of torque, and it sprints from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds with a range of 150 miles per charge, and comes with 125 kilowatt lithium battery pack. So if you're in the desert, if you buy one of these, you're good to go. All you have to do is you plug it in, you charge it, and you'll get 150 miles per charge, and you're sporting 590 horsepower with a 775 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot of power if you ask me. I own an STI myself, and I love the torque from that car. So for further specifications, you can check out their website. I'll link the links down below, so you guys can visit instead of googling it. I'll save you 2 seconds of your life. So alright, so next I'm going to explain how the Nikola Motors Company is not trying to be the next Tesla, or Tesla's next competitor. One may argue that it's the other case, but for me, I believe that they're not trying to compete with Tesla. What they're trying to do is create their own brand and work on their niche, which is the trucking company. So for me, they're not trying to compete with Tesla. In fact, what they're trying to do is focus on the trucks, the power sports, and the hydrogen fueling stations. And Trevor even said that they're not going to produce cars, and they're going to focus on building their trucking business. So we'll see if they're going to produce a car. They actually have a truck now. It's called the Nikola Badger. It starts it ranges from 60,000 to 80,000, and you can pre-order them. It's on their website. Again, I'll leave the links down below so you guys can check that out. But for me, if I'm gonna get a zero-emission vehicle, it's either the Cybertruck or the Nikola Badger. So I love both platforms, but for me, I love the look of the Nikola Badger more than the Cybertruck. It's just personal opinion. The Cybertruck has its own unique character, and in fact, again, it's a Tesla. But again, you have Nikola Badger, who's teamed up with different partners to build his truck. And it's an all-electric truck. So you guys can check that truck out, and it's actually in the pre-planning stage now, and it's cool. It looks cool. And if you ask me, I'll get the Badger instead of Tesla's Cybertruck. It's just me, and you can argue with that, and I'll support you on your decision. So in the next one, in his unveiling, the Nikola One is gonna depend on the system incorporation. So what Trevor did is he partnered with Rider System. What this does is it enables Nikola Motors to tap into Rider's North American network of more than 800 service locations to lessors and owners of Nikola One. So in a nutshell, if your Nikola One truck, your semi-truck breaks, you can call Rider, and hopefully they have technicians and maintenance personnel who will fix your truck for you. And yeah, that's overall, that's a good partnership if you ask me. It's good for the company, both companies actually, and for future owners of the hydrogen powered trucks. And so Nikola, during the unveiling, Trevor explains how people had questions about how are they going to power their trucks if they're riding along the interstates. So Trevor explained they're going to have 364 stations in North America. So this allows the trucks that they're going to produce 1,200 miles per charge, and they're going to start to build their station in 2019 last year. So I believe Arizona already has one. You can check them out. Actually, they showed it during their unveiling, or one of his videos in their YouTube. So hydrogen fuel station in Arizona, it's operational now, at least in their company. So, and what they're planning to do is a slow rollout, and they're gonna build on those projects. So 264, that's a lot, but in terms of scaling up, that's actually a good amount, because as you all know, the trucking industry, they go from east to west, from LA to New York. They're gonna need a lot of fueling stations, and 364 is, I believe, is the right amount. And with 120 miles per charge, that's crazy. That's, in terms of range, for a truck, hydrogen powered truck, I'll drive that truck any day. So again, Trevor talked about 364 stations in North America, and this is going to be helpful when they launch their freight system, and it's going to come in handy when they're going to start rolling out their trucks. So okay, so in addition to the how they're going to build their products, they actually partnered with other companies, including investor Fitzgerald. So Fitzgerald is responsible for the first 5,000 trucks with their immediate assembly lines. So they're going to use their assembly lines to build the 5,000 trucks for Nikola One. And after that, Trevor explained, in 4 to 5 years, Nikola will build their own manufacturing facilities, and it's going to be in Arizona, and they're going to allocate $1 billion for a manufacturing facility, and their goal is to produce 50,000 vehicles per year. That's too high, but again, the CEO is visionary. Trevor had his shares of failures, and he knows what he knows where he's going. So I believe that 50,000 vehicles per year is a calculated amount, and we'll see. And actually, there's Anheuser-Busch is already using one of the trucks. They partnered with Anheuser-Busch several years ago, and now that truck is operational and it's delivering beer all across the country, so you can enjoy a cold one. So if you want to check it out, then you can research on Google. So again, I'm going to go back how Trevor talked about picking a new location. In the video, he talked about location announcement. It's going to be revealed in 2017. As you all know, we are in 2020 now, so they picked Arizona because of location, and it's just for expansion. If you're going to expand, you need more land, and either Texas, Nevada or Arizona are the states where you want to grow your business. So Nikola Motor Company is not only they're producing power sports. They have Nikola One. They actually have a second truck. It's called Nikola Two. So this is the baby Nikola One. It's a sleeper semi truck, and yeah, it's a smaller Nikola One. So I have no more information about that. And now I'm going to talk about the Nikola shipments. So again, how I talked about Nikola One is focused on the freight industry in terms of truck. So Nikola One has this idea, and it's called Nikola shipments.
This truck is by far the most state-of-the-art truck ever built in history. I'm proud to say that. You guys will be able to later on come in and see this, these displays on here. This thing is mind-boggling. There's 4 massive displays, and this thing is really, really incredible. Nikola Shipments is the ability for every freight broker in the country to upload their freight to our system, have our drivers pick them up. Much like an Uber for a taxi, you'll be able to see the reviews of the drivers.
So this is the service they're going to be providing to for the businesses. So this is like an Uber-like service for the trucking industry. This is a sophisticated freight system that they they're gonna launch. So what this does is, under Nikola shipments, I'm 19 minutes now. So drivers can customize a route based on different stops they desire. Freight brokers can review the drivers based on reliability and their reviews. So, and the trucks will come in with 21-inch display screen in their trucks themselves to show Nikola shipments system for increased situational awareness and navigation. And so that's cool. They're gonna have their own app within that truck. They're gonna have that 21-inch big old iPad. I don't know if it's gonna be an iPad, but it's gonna be a 21-inch screen that will show you the maps and the freight brokers that you're gonna be stopping by, whether you want to stop there. If they choose you, you have to go there. So it's like an Uber, pretty much, like how they explained it. So now I'm going to talk about Nikola One. So Nikola One is a highly efficient truck. You can check them out for specifications. If you ask me, this is the Optimus Prime bread and butter of Trevor, of the company as well. So Milton's goal is not to only revolutionize how we use gasoline powered vehicles. This is also to disrupt the trucking industry in a good way. So in this video, we talked about the byproduct of hydrogen is water. Hydrogen process, hydrogen vehicles, their byproduct is water. So that's not only good for the economy, but it's good for everyone in general. So right now, if you know, metropolitan cities like Los Angeles, if you've gone to Los Angeles, traffic is so bad. I'm from LA, and I can talk about how I hate traffic in LA. So in about 10 years, if you see these trucks traveling in LA with zero emission, you're going to decrease the smog, the pollution, and in overall big picture, you're saving the ozone layer. So, and just me, I was very pessimistic about zero emission vehicles until I learned about Tesla, and now this truck. So I own, again, I talked about how I own a gas powered vehicle, Subaru STI, and that thing, I have to fill it up every 2 weeks if I go to work. And I love the car, but eventually the electric powered vehicles, hydrogen powered vehicles is the future. It's gonna take a while, and it's gonna be a slow rollout, but eventually I'll get my own electric powered or hydrogen powered vehicle, and I have my eyes on either the Cybertruck or the Nikola Badger. That's gonna be about 5 to 10 years here, because I'm ready to move on from the gas powered vehicle, the car that I have. I love that. I'm gonna keep it, but I wanna dive into the zero emission vehicles, such as either the Cybertruck or the Tesla. We'll see. That's just a dream of mine to own a zero emission vehicle. It's either a Badger or a Cybertruck. So in 10 years, go back to this video and we can talk about, and I can show you if either I have a Cybertruck or a Nikola Badger, one of those. And so in his unveiling video, they talked about Nikola One power production, the safety features of the truck, and the safety features of the hydrogen fueling stations, and it talked about the success behind the company. So yeah, that's it. And it's a long video, but the video is 45 minutes, and I sat down and actually dissected the video last night, and those are the notes that I took from it. The main video is going to be on the description down below, and I put the timestamps already for convenience, and you can view the videos that they produced back in 2016. So overall, Nikola Motors, just an outlook from here. In 2nd of June, CEO Trevor Milton actually announced that they're going to merge with VTIQ, Vector's IQ. Right now it's going to be a reverse merger. So what's going to happen is that if you already bought the stocks, the shares, which I do, by the way, and I'm going to buy more, that's going to be a different story. I promise I'm not going to talk about investments, but here I am talking about investing in stocks, but that's going to be a different story. Anyways, so VTIQ right now is the company that's going to turn into NKLA. So what you're going to do is Nikola is going to merge with VTIQ, and VTIQ is trading in the stocks right now, but it's going to eventually in June 2nd, hopefully it's going to happen, and it's going to turn into NKLA. That's a ticker symbol once they merge. So if you own the VTIQ stocks and it's trading around $25 at the time of this video, roughly $25. So if you bought VTIQ in June 2nd, eventually on that date, it may change. It's going to turn into NKLA. What you're going to do is Nikola is going to go merge with VTIQ, and it's going to turn into NKLA. So if you own shares right now, the VTIQ started at around $10, and now it's worth $25. That's crazy. Hey, there's still time to get into the freight train. For me, I invest in the stocks, and I'm increasing my position and do a dollar cost average as we move along, because I believe in the company, and Trevor has great conviction. And personally speaking, I had my shares of failures and successes, and in his videos he talks about his successes, his failures, and how he got through them. I can relate to him, and this guy has the vision that I share as well. So I believe in him, so that's why I'm investing in a company to boost that capital to move his business in the right direction. I explained how I'm pessimistic about zero-emission vehicle until I was introduced and I got into researching Tesla, and now Nikola Motors. Zero-emission vehicles are the future. They're here to stay, and it's going to be a slow rollout, but eventually in about 10 to 20 years we'll see those trucks rolling, and we'll be underway, and we'll be happy. Any questions, comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Again, if you want to invest in VTIQ, again, before we talked about investing, since we're on that topic now, again, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a certified financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just sharing my opinions and perspectives and my insight, and it's up to you whether you want to invest in the company or you want to sell your stocks. It's up to you. It's your money. I respect whatever you do because you deserve your money. So if you have any questions about the perspectives and the insights that I talked about in this video, comment down below. My question now is, are you going to be buying VTIQ, eventually NKLA stocks, or not, and explain why? So if you can share those perspectives down below, that would be great. Let's keep the feedback constructive, and the comments PG as well. Yeah, that's it.